One of the most insensitive things you can say to a black person is, "I don't see color." If you were raised in the post-civil rights era in the US, you were probably taught to say this as a way of indicating that you were raised to see everyone equally. But this statement doesn't come off the way you think it does to most black people. First of all, it just rings false to most of us. We know it's not true because we live in these bodies every day. We've lived in our skin all our lives and bring a lifetime of experience with race to any conversation we engage in. Have you ever heard a black person say, "I really like Tom. I get the feeling he doesn't know what color I am at all"? No, because we've never encountered that in our lives, nor would we expect to. We know that race is a factor in everyday life. We live it 24/7. If suddenly race didn't matter to the majority of the people who claim it doesn't, don't you think we'd be the first ones to notice? And if what you're trying to say is that you try to live your life with a colorblind philosophy, well, we appreciate the thought, but that speaks to a certain detachment from our reality. We've never had the luxury of so-called color blindness. Our ancestors came to this country in chains. My parents were born under the Jim Crow era segregation laws. Even for those of us who have managed to do fairly well in life, we still deal with microaggressions from without, internalized racism from within because of the culture we live in, PTSD with past racial trauma, feeling culturally othered, and many of us fight every day to overcome the legacy of poverty that's all too often the birthright of someone born with darker skin. And while you may not feel personally responsible for all of those things, they were perpetuated by a system of white supremacy that you nevertheless benefit from. And consider this, taking a colorblind stance can be a way of invalidating our experiences. If you don't acknowledge that our experience of the world has been vastly different from yours, you become the ostrich with its head stuck in the sand, refusing to see the problems that exist, and thereby shutting off any avenue you may have to address them in any meaningful way. But in a fundamental sense, we want you to see our color. We want you to see its beauty. We want you to respect the ways in which our culture is its own distinct, vibrant thing. And we want you to push past your discomfort and learn to speak about race honestly.